for the demonic realm, but if the demonic realm's your God, I mean, you're going to share the reward. It's just amazing how busy we are that all of a sudden it's okay that people have never heard the truth. What's that about? You know? So as we live by the Holy Spirit, yeah, that's why I get excited about where people are placed. People placed at Hershey Farms to minister in the city, anywhere in Lancaster County. You know, it's so cool because you walk it out. Yeah. Blessed to be a blessing. Yeah, you blessing? Yeah, go.
I said this at Bible study the other night. Colin already heard this, so probably bore him. But I was in a bad spot the other day. I really needed Father to reach out to me. I was needing his guidance. And right before I went into Costco, I was kind of having a little bit of a temper tantrum. I didn't want to go grocery shopping. So I was crying in the car, and I just asked Father to show me the way with some situations I'm going through. And I said, well, I'm just going to go do this, Father, and yeah, we'll talk later. So I went inside, and I was online. I was all done. I got my few things and went online, and there was a lady in front of me with her husband, and she had to go to the ladies' room. And it was clear to me that she had dementia. I could tell she was not well. And I just walked over to the husband and I said, I'll take her to the bathroom for you. And he looked at me like I was from another planet.
I've seen that.
And I said, well, you can trust me. I won't hurt her. I said, I'll leave all my belongings here, and you can just take care of my belongings. My license is in there and everything. I told him my name. And I took her, and we were gone like a long time. We were gone like 20 minutes. But we did what we had to do, and we came back, and she was holding on to me like she knew me her whole life. And when I came back to him, he said to me, he took my hand, and he said, you were my angel today. And I said, no. I said, you were my angel today because you trusted me, and you didn't have to trust me. And that shows, and then later on I thought, well, I have to trust more in God. That was the message that God was sending me, and he sent it 5 minutes after I asked it. I just had to listen for it. And then the man gave me a big hug and kiss, and I kissed him back, and I told him, you know, what you're doing here, the Father put the words, and he said, what you're doing here, you'll never regret taking care of her. Even when you lose patience and you think you're at the end of your rope, just tie a knot, because God will keep you there. And it was really beautiful. It really helped me through the day, and it was a real revelation of knowledge for me that day, just going to Costco. Yeah, pretty cool people. I'll never forget them.
But obedience, even when you didn't feel like it. Remember that time when you prayed for me, and you were busy cleaning the bathroom?
Yeah, I stopped cleaning the bathroom.
You may want to say that.
Which is tough for me. I really wanted to clean the bathroom. But, yeah, you can tell me.
No, you can tell.
Well, God just told me that Paul needed definite prayer. And later on, Brian said to me, well, that's good. You were tapped in the Holy Spirit. I remember him saying that, but everything that God told me was exactly what Paul needed that day. I don't exactly remember what it was. I was so in the Spirit, I really don't remember.
Well, you said you seen an angel over my head?
Yes, I did. Okay, yes. You were on a bridge. It was the same bridge that I had seen before when I was in a situation that was life-threatening. And you were on the bridge, and the angel was above you, and there was someone else next to you, but that wasn't another angel, that was Jesus. That was what I saw in my head. And then he brought you across the bridge. So whatever problem you were having was this big problem. I don't know what it was, but he was holding your hand, and that you were going to make it across the bridge. That was my vision for you. and apparently it worked because you really fell in the spirit. I think you fell over, right? Didn't
Yeah.
you? Okay. So it was what you needed, but I didn't know it. I just, yeah,
But it's going back to obedience because you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway.
right. And I'm stubborn too.
Yeah.
I wrote down here, we have favor on our life. We are built to be givers. We're made to be givers. And there's somebody out there that always needs you. It's amazing. Come to a place like this to receive, to give. Live life positioned to give. To receive from the Lord. To give gets your eyes off yourself. Are you committed enough to allow Father to make you effective for other people? Yeah. It's interesting, you know, Paul knows when you're in business, you have to take care of business, but you do that by walking in the Spirit. When you walk out God's agenda, things that need to be dealt with are dealt with. And it gets dealt with a lot better than if you do it with your own human strength. See now, not. Anything else you want to say before we?
No, just thank God for the ministry, but I would just want to say that if we can only vision people dressed in in tuxedos, and if we could vision a wedding. He said, I'm a bride, and even though the disciples, why aren't you doing this, why aren't you doing that, because he said that as long as you're in the wedding and the bridegroom, you know, they don't need all of this other stuff because they're in a wedding. And so I'm saying right now, with this thing that God is doing today, he's coming back for his bride. So we're in a wedding right now, dressed out in tuxedos, and we're expecting him to come back. But in a wedding, they have a feast of all of the spiritual food heaped up beyond our description. But if there's nobody here to pass it out, it's going to go to waste. So our function here is to pass out this spiritual food, to see that person that's dehydrated and give him spiritual food that will bring a quickening in his soul. Not his soul is dead, held captive, but with a quickening of that, it can be resurrected into a spiritual being for eternity. And it's just spiritual food that's already set. The harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. And are we willing to be a laborer to pass out this spiritual food?
Yes. Yeah. There's no more fulfilling place to be.